Hello, I welcome you to this time for discovering how to be truly yourself and being yourself in every environment that you expose yourself to. I am really excited that you're here for this online workshop. It's about understanding personality types and how they impact our relationships, our communication styles, and even how we contribute to team or group environments. Now, whether you're here to gain insights about yourself or improve your interactions with others, or maybe you're a manager and you want to enhance your own leadership skills, either way, I want you to know you're in the right place. Now, throughout this session, we're going to explore 4 distinct personality types, and we're going to uncover the dominant traits in each and discuss practical ways to use this knowledge in your personal and professional life. Now, it's important to know that you're going to take an assessment, and in that assessment, you're going to find out more about you as a person. But the beauty is you're going to find and learn about others as well. Now, even though this is a self-paced workshop, I want you to know it's interactive. You're going to be able to communicate with me in a variety of ways. So just know that, write your questions, and definitely set the scene. Find a quiet time, a quiet place, grab something to write with, and treat this like the ultimate me time. Now, if you haven't visited tericbrooks.com, you may not know much about me. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to be your new best friend, so you should know. I have been an L&D, or a learning and development professional, for over 35 years at this point. Long time. And fortunately, my career in learning and development found me early. So I'm very glad for that. I'm not saying that because I don't want to be old, but I want to give you some context. Now, I've spent most of my time in training in my career, but then I moved into training management, where I was creating curricula, but also managing teams of trainers. Now, most recently, I dipped my professional toe into IT training development, and I did that with a quasi-government organization. Lots of fun, very impactful, and some of the work that I did is probably going to impact you in a very real way if you're in the United States. Now, that's a little bit about me as a professional. Let me tell you about me educationally, just so you know who you're talking to. I graduated with my undergrad in liberal arts from the University of Missouri. My emphasis there, however, was on human resources. Then I got my master's degree in education, and of course, I had an emphasis, and it was on adult education. So that's a little bit about me, and what you're going to learn from me is going to come forward. But I just want you to know where I'm pulling from. Now, this is not a specific area of research that I'm going to present, in that I don't have a real name, because I'm certified in True Colors. I am certified in Myers-Briggs and also DISC, but I'm going to kind of do an aggregate of all of those. But my main focus is going to be on Hippocrates, his model. Okay, so just to give you some idea of what we're dealing with, I want you to be able to interact with individuals in ways that are meaningful. And I find that since Hippocrates is the father of temperament research, he's the best place to start. I also want you to understand, as you learn this, I want you to put your personal life in view, your personal relationships. How do you show up in those? How do you communicate? What role does your temperament play in those environments? You're going to know all that when we're done here. So let's talk about more specifically what you're going to walk away with. After your time with me, you're going to be able to accurately identify your dominant personality type. And I want you to be able to describe 3 traits associated with the others, because everybody in the world is not just your personality type, right? So I want you to be able to articulate and navigate those landscapes as well. I also want you to practice the ability to adjust your communication styles, right? I want you to be able to adjust how you speak to people with their personalities in mind. I also want you to be aware of your pitfalls and the common pitfalls associated with your personality. Then finally, I want you to have a personal action plan when you're done, so that you can improve who you are and definitely actualize yourself and how your temperament shows up in your interactions. So that's a little bit about what you can expect. Now, I want you to view this time as a tool. You're going to be getting a tool. I don't want you to overthink this. I don't want you to overanalyze it or even be on guard for what I'm trying to do here. I'm no Svengali trying to hypnotize you or anything like that. So don't overthink this. I want you to take the meat and leave the bones. You are too complex for me to put you into a box. And plus, I don't have a desire to do that. Again, I just want to give you some basic tools to help your interactions be more effective, more fulfilling, and more meaningful. So, this isn't a game. I always tell people, this is not a game you can lose. There are no wrong answers. Okay? So I want you to take a deep breath with me and let's keep moving. I want to give you some history on what I'm talking about. I referenced Hippocrates earlier. Do you remember? So I wanted to give you just a little bit of context on what I'm talking about here. Now, the reason I am doing this, because I am aware that there is a personality type that cannot receive anything that I say unless it is filtered through their logic. That's why I went into all the detail about what my college background was, what my work experience was. I wanted to let you know I didn't make this up in my basement last night. All right. And because of that, I want to tell you a little bit about the modules that I have been certified in and trained in and educated in, and how it all kind of comes into play. All right, Hippocrates. He is the first dude you see in the picture there. And Hippocrates, as you know, was the father of medicine, really. And he recognized that individuals there were implications between biological responses and how people felt physically. Now, that's kind of the basic version of what Hippocrates did, but he understood that human behavior, it was complex, all right? And so there are implications between what he called the four humors and how you react and how your health is impacted. So that's important for you to understand that Hippocrates was the beginning of all of this. His work came up in the mid 400s, and so he was kind of the father of everything that is temperament research. And Galen, I don't know if I say that right. I never have. It's like Galileo. I've never been able to say that properly, or maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe today was a good day. But then there was Carl Jung, who also played a role in your temperament expansion. He expanded on Hippocrates' model, and he actually introduced psychological types. While Hippocrates had four humors or four types, which I really love and I find very useful, Jung suggested that the biological factors influenced personality, right? I'm sorry, Hippocrates did that. Now, Jung, he moved beyond that, and he moved beyond bodily fluids and focused on how people perceive the world and make their decisions. You probably heard of the term introversion and extroversion, right? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? The difference between the two, just really simply, is all about energy. What it takes to exhaust you or expend your energy. If you're an introvert, being around a lot of people might exhaust you and kind of drain you a bit. Whereas on the other hand, extroverts, they need that. They crave it. They actually are a little drained or run down when they're not around people. So it's not about ability between extroversion and introversion. It's about energy, what drains you. Okay? So Jung, he basically focused on thinking, feeling, sensing, and intuition. And that laid the groundwork for what is next. And that is Myers-Briggs. And Myers-Briggs, first of all, did you know that they are a mother-daughter team? Did you know that? That's one of the reasons the graphic, I displayed it as I did over here, because they are literally a mother and daughter team, which I just find incredibly fascinating. And so, long story short, it's Isabel Briggs Myers and Catherine Cook Briggs. They expanded on Jung's theory by adding a fourth dimension, judging and versus perceiving, to his module. And so they created 16 types of personalities. So that is the long and short of the personality research history. But now I want to talk about you. Let's talk about your assessment. If you take the full version, you're going to get a personalized assessment that is going to help you to identify what your personality type is. I'll also give you directions for how to complete that assessment and also how to know which one of your personalities or personality temperaments reign strongest. I'll also have an introspective activity that you'll be able to do that'll help you flesh out some of these things. And then we're going to actually compare what you do in your fleshing out time with research. And we'll see how research does. I'm going to just show you a sample of what you will see. I will talk about the guide, or what is the phlegmatic, or in the true colors, the blue temperament. I will go in exhaustive detail about them and how communication is of strong value for this temperament. And I also like to indicate varied communication. So that means that they might communicate through video. They might communicate best with words in journaling. Right? They might communicate, in a lot of different ways, physically. If you know about Gardner's multiple types of intelligence, there's lots of ways for communication. And anyone that leans toward that expression commonly is a phlegmatic, or what I call the guide. Then people and interaction are very important to this temperament. So if this would be your temperament, you would find that you enjoy being around people. Now, you may be an introvert, you may be an extrovert. We don't get into that in my training. That's just a little too complex and takes more time to really kind of flesh out. But I will say is that people and interaction is so important for this temperament. They love to be around people. They love to encourage, inspire, and motivate people to be better. If you think about coaches, individuals who are personal coaches, they tend to be this temperament because mentorship seems to come very natural to individuals with this temperament. So when interacting with them, they may give you advice and support you and help you, and they're doing it out of their intrinsic skills and abilities to be who they are. You'll also see some famous people that I believe are of this temperament in each of the colors and the phlegmatics and the guides, or whatever you want to call it. So you know what? That's your sample. It's over. So I encourage you to sign up and take advantage of this personal time where you're going to be able to learn a little bit more about who you are, tap into your skills and your strengths, but also get valuable information to help you get along with just about anybody. Because in the actual module, we're going to talk about stressors. And most stressors are only people trying to live out their truest selves more often than not. Now, you have butt heads, okay? You have people that are going to be there to just annoy you. But for the most part, most people aren't trying to annoy you. They didn't wake up in the morning and say, hey, I am going to inspire you so much it's going to get on your nerves. No, it's them being their truest, most authentic selves. So with that, I thank you for watching and being part of this very short sample. And I hope you will definitely sign up and join and subscribe to learn how you can take the full version and really be your truest self in this world of people that need to see it. Thank you. Bye-bye. I certainly hope you enjoyed that time. I really am excited that you invested time in yourself. And the point of it was not to, again, make you think you needed to behave a certain way, but to let you feel good about who you are, knowing that you are intentionally the way you are. And I also hope it stimulated some degree of tolerance for other people in your life, so that you know that sometimes people are not trying to annoy you or get on your nerves. They're just being their truest selves. And very often than not, they're trying to help you. My favorite example of that was my mom. She's no longer with me, and it hasn't been very long since I've lost her. She's actually the reason her passing is that I don't take clients right now. But as I heal, I will again. But I will tell you, she was a natural gold. And she would come over and rearrange my cupboards and do all these things, and it used to annoy me to no end until I learned about true colors and it all made sense. So be tolerant of the people that maybe get on your nerves a little bit, and ask yourself, are they just being their truest self? And more often than not, they are. Anyway, I thank you again for taking the time to invest in yourself, and do know that there are many more of these modules to come. So be sure to subscribe to tericbrooks.com so you'll know when the next one comes your way. Thank you so much. Take care of you, and don't forget, shine bright.